Okay. Welcome everyone to Gas Poetry Reading number 8. We have quite a wonderful cast of characters this time. I believe I'd like to start with, let me say first, about 4 minutes each the first time and about 2 or so the second time. So 2 one-page poems, sort of kind of, or 1 2-page poem, sort of kind of, and the second go around 1 poem, whatever. And we'll go ahead and start with Lily Swarn from India. And just tell us a little bit about yourself after I call your name, and what's your current projects you're working on, your latest book, or a little something about yourself you'd like to share. Okay, Lily.
You're breaking up a lot, Lily. We can't hear you.
Yeah, I
It's not
don't.
better now. It's because of the blackout, and I'm holding in a room where I have light. Can you hear me better now?
Yes,
Yeah.
better
Okay.
now.
Let me just hold the phone and then talk because I'm hiding, because of the drones coming in and all. We have to be, it's blackout in India, Pakistan, you know what's happening. So, despite the ceasefire, we've had some, sounds. So, I'm in the north of India, but now I hope I can just hold the phone and then do my thing. Okay, should I?
Yes,
Yeah.
we hear you now.
Thank you. That's much better. So, as I was telling you, I have been very honored to be the International Beat Poet Laureate from India, and it's a joy to have met Chris Dean, Ron Whitehead, who's even written for my book, the book which won a Sahitya Academy Award. And I'm carrying 2 books for you guys to see. One is Rippling Moonbeams, which is also a highly awarded book of poetry, and my latest, which is about peace and love poems. It's an anthology which I had been collecting over the years, and I'm glad it is out just when we need peace in our part of the world. This is called A Bejeweled Tiara, and Aprilia Zank has also written about it from Germany, Maria Miraglia, the chairman of the World Peace Foundation. And I'm very honored that it's out at a time where love and peace is really screaming to be heard. Okay. So, like I was saying, I belong to the north of India, but I come for very long periods to Michigan, where my daughter lives. And I spend time with family there with my husband. Right now, I'm in India and just caught in this so-called war situation. And if you allow me, I can start with a peace poem, Belinda, if everybody allows. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you. So this is called Let Peace Be the Latest Fashion. All of us are so pressured to be fashionistas most of the time now that we forget that peace is also something we need to carry with us. So let me see how this goes. Give me a second while I find it. Let peace be the latest fashion. Have you heard the wails of grieving mothers? The shattered shards of shrapnel, deeply embedded in their mourning hearts. Have you? Have you seen the vacant eyes of orphans gazing piteously into the horizon, scanning their broken world for a glimpse of their parents? Have you? Have you watched the streams turn red with the blood of innocent women, raped, molested, shamed in front of their own? Have you watched a man limp home on crutches? The sole breadwinner of his family sitting in a wheelchair? His spirit crushed with inane war, his dreams ripped apart with senseless gunfire. Let peace flourish like an Easter lily, white, blood red, beauteous. Let the morning dew ease the strife. Let babies live in safe homes. Let peace be the eternal raga, crooned in each corner of this fractured world. Let peace be the latest fashion. Let peace be the latest.
Woo-hoo.
Thank you. Thank you, people. I love you all so nice.
And if you can stay awake a few more minutes, well, more like close to an hour, we'll have another one, okay?
Yes, sure. That was, I just wanted to do that one because it's a little topical. Let me go to this one. It's a tiny one. It's called The Golden Thread. You could call it a love poem. I'm not too sure. You can just categorize it. So here I go. Golden Thread. Walk home to me barefoot. Walk home to me barefoot. The corns will burst. The wounds will bleed. Your tiny feet will curl up in agonizing pain. That is the time when it will rain. Bring home to me your bowl of niggling worries that thrust your spirit, your demented brain, raking up a storm, straddling the universe. Walk home to me barefoot. Like a bloody-eyed titan, carry your burdens home to me. The tiny bundle of unwashed linen, dry it on the twigs of yearning, hang it on the thorns of life. Smelly socks and torn jeans, give them to me to mend, to patch them up with golden thread. With golden.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Ron Whitehead, we'd love to hear from you. What have you been up to lately, and what are you in the middle of?
It's good to be here with all these, so many familiar faces. And it was a lovely reading, Lily. And Finn, it's good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you, Ron. Thank you very much.
Love you. Love you.
Thank you.
Belinda, I'm involved as usual in too many things. I had the honor to be collaborating with people all over the world, which I've been doing for a few decades. I've been involved in the 50-51 movement protest against our traitor Trump and the fascist coup that's going on. And but I'm also, even though I retired from producing events and festivals throughout Europe and the United States for several decades, I retired last year. I did agree to continue to be advisor, and I'm advisor for the Gonzo Fest New Orleans, which takes place this coming week from Thursday through Sunday, and I'll be presenting the keynote State of Gonzo address and performing with David Amram and Zuzu Yaya and some other folks there. We got a daytime venue and 4 nighttime venues, including the Howlin' Wolf Club. And I'll be staying, they're putting David and his son Adam and me up in a condo near the bookstore. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with David. David will turn 95 in November, and I turned 75. And David is a walking, talking, performing cultural encyclopedia. So I always just listen to him. It's amazing, just an amazing person. So I'm going to read one poem for you, and then I'll have to bow out of here because I've got meetings. I've got at 10 to 4 I have to leave. I've got other meetings I've got to go to. The great blue heron of quasar poetry. I sit alone reading an old Western, The Big Sky, by A.B. Guthrie Jr., a brilliant book. Well, I'm not alone. Barry is asleep, snoring at the other end of the couch. Blue's outside chasing squirrels. Actually, both my blue heelers are outside chasing something right now. They're barking. Birds are singing. Fall has arrived here on the banks of the great river. The days are warm and sunny. The nights are full of stars. No rain in sight. I was born under a tree in an open field in the midst of a blizzard that included lightning and thunder in the age before time began. On the day I died, the storm passed. The weather became calm, clear skies like today. That's when my life really got started. Back when I became wind and water and earth and sky and fire, one with all of nature. I can't begin to describe to you what it's like. You'll have to try it on your own. I recommend it. There's nothing else like it. Forgiveness and moving on are central. Confess all your wrongs, write them on the sandy beach and watch them wash away. That's how we work here in nature. All is forgiven. Nature always moves on in dramatic and peaceful fashion. No calendars here. Time was, time is, time will be. Doesn't figure. There's no time in nature. No religion, no politics. Lots of angels singing, accompanying crickets, frogs, whales, seals, lions, tigers, bears, wolves. You get the sound picture. Dig it. Nature is the real, genuine, original groove. Nature is easy and smooth and wild and crazy and cataclysmic. Nature is the most natural thing on earth. Go ahead and sign up. What a trip. Writing is the great escape from despair and madness. Writing is the untrammeled path to the wilderness of good dreams come true. If every writer in every book in your public library and local bookstore found a way to do it, then so can you. So go ahead and do it. Start writing and keep writing. No matter what anyone says, no matter how hard the wind blows, the fires rage, and the waters flood, write it all down. Never stop writing. Brief pauses for morsels of food and drink. That's it. Don't quit. You are more determined than a mother fox finding food for her hungry young. Determination is central. Be sunlight in snow. Be peace in war. Be grace in anger. Be hope in hopelessness. Be belief in criticism. You don't have to spit in their eyes. Just keep doing what you're doing, and that is to write and write and write. Write longer than the longest distance runner. You are filled with honesty and realness, nothing else. You speak only the truth that is in you, no other words. Your words are a blessing somehow, somewhere to someone, especially right now to yourself. Write them down. Empty yourself. There is no bottom to your pockets. The words in your pockets are more vast than all the galaxies in outer space. You are the quasar beyond all imagined quasars. You are the great blue heron of quasar poetry. Sing it proud and strong. Be your own damn self now and from now on. Beyond paying for your basic needs, what's the use of all that money you're killing yourself to earn? Rebirth yourself into the person you always dreamed of being. What are you waiting for? Someone to give you the word? Okay, I'm giving you the word. Find and be your dream now. The waiting is over. Your time has come at last, and there's no time like now ever. Nothing is as satisfying as being a poet. Take up your pen and write, and never look back. Be touched by words, and sing your poems with soul. That's it for me.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on my list, I have Chris Dean. Hi, Chris. Could you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to in the poetry world?
Yeah, I've been actually I'm on the production crew for Gonzo Fest, New Orleans. So that's kind of been my life nonstop for the last 2 months. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. I'm Chris Dean. I'm from Indiana. I run a small press called Keeping the Flame Alive Press with Wendy Cartwright. And yeah, it's been for the last couple months is getting ready for next week in New Orleans. I'm reading as well as on the production team staff, so really excited, nervous.
Okie dokie. Share some of your poetry.
Yeah, the first one is called It's Got a Good Beat to It, but bang, 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 bang. Tell me what you hear. John Lee Hooker, an active shooter, masked agents the moment before they kick in your door. Bang, 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 bang. Do you take another sip and move those hips? Do you shelter in place and pray that nobody dies? Does your heart freeze as ice disappears you in the night? Bang, 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 bang. 55 years of society's evolution. Feet stomping in time, bodies dropping in time, boots marching in time until we are long past the time when it was just the devil's music making us smile, jump, and jive. Bang, 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 bang. You know, it's got a good beat to it, but it's hard to find the rhythm in the loss of our humanity. And you really can't dance to the sound of our failures and shame.
Wow. Great. Would you like to share?
Um, yeah, I'm looking it up real fast. I brought my phone and not paper. Sorry. And where did it go? Ah, this one's called Old Ladies and Their Looms. I look at the headlines and words jump off the page. Ripped, divided, torn. And I think about my mother. I walk to work past throwaway people life used harshly before using them up. And I think about her loom. My mother wove rag rugs, collecting cast off clothes, outdated styles, ripped jeans, and stained shirts, things that no longer worked for their intended use, still had use to her. I'd sit with my knitting, watching her cut away the stiff seams, saving every inch to tear into strips before rolling them into colorful balls. We'd talk while she worked, me knitting to a prescribed pattern, her making hers up, winding the shuttles with reclaimed denim and chenille to be remade into a new whole. My needles would click their knit pearl knit staccato while I watched her choose the warp, thick fingers threading the heddles, using the mathematics of love to pick the pattern that ultimately bound the rugs. Sometimes we'd sit in silence, me counting stitches while she counted inches and feet by the back and forth rhythm and the beating of the beam. We laughed as I ripped out my mistakes and dropped stitches, thinking things had to be perfect and right. Her mistakes, though not many, became part of the weave, adding a unique beauty to every piece. At home, I'd fight with my finished work, stretching and pulling as I blocked it into shape. In her basement, she tied and trimmed fringe before placing the rugs on a table to relax into their final shape. My mother was a weaver, a practical woman who never threw anything away. She chose to remake the useless and beautify the ugly where others saw only trash. I look at the headlines before leaving work, smile at people I pass as I walk, and I am not thinking about ways of knitting things back together. I am daydreaming of old ladies weaving rag rugs on their looms.
Wow. All righty. Thank you so much. We have a special guest from Myanmar, which formerly Burma. Lin Tun. He's a wonderful musician and he's also a poet. Even though I'm not very familiar with his work yet, he's very accomplished in this field, I understand. And he has a new book coming out. Okay, San, are you there?
Hi. Yes.
Hi there.
Yeah.
Would you
Hi,
like to
everyone.
tell us a little bit
Yes.
more about your music and your writing?
Hmm. I'm actually a freelance writer. I write poetry, short story, flat fictions, and essay to the local journals and other international magazine. So Last year, I released my debut album, I call the acoustic instrumental, and
Wow.
I also released my mini album early this year. Now I'm planning to publish my third poetry collection with Kyoto publication based in India. So I will read one poem from my upcoming poetry book. So the title is Rock Jam at Yangon Yangon. High above on 20th floor, a rock jam blares out. Anyone can join in, bringing guitars from home. John was anxious to get along with the band that started to play. He strummed his acoustic guitar, but not his bagpipe. Following their rock tunes, Drea Bar Blues seemed the best, making the crowd swaying and shaking heads, while Don was playing with mud. That night was a memorable night. Cause though I went back home, Just Tune accompanied me up to 11th floor. That opened suddenly. I felt amazed. I didn't press the button, thought someone did it. When I walked out from the lift and I saw no one on the floor, perplexed, goosebumps readily appeared. Still humming the jazz tunes, I waited patiently for at least 10 minutes until the lift came to a halt again. Then I stepped into it. The lift went down floor. I felt relief and belief. Dom was still enjoying his rock jam, with brilliant players back on the stage of Yangon Yangon. So it's about the experience with my good friend Don. He's a Scottish photographer. He brought me there to enjoy the rock jam at Yangon Yangon.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Okay, John Compton. Hello. Tell us what you're up to in the poetry world.
Sorry, my screen went crazy. So, well, I have a new book out from Flower Song Press called My Husband Holds My Hand Because I May Drift Away and Be Lost Forever in the Vortex of a Crowded Store. So I've been promoting that, and I'm always working on new poems. And then my friend Chad Horn, I got this the other day. He asked for 5 poems, and then he added 5 poems, and he hand wrote everything, so all the poems are handwritten. So that was an amazing little thing that I have that I don't know what I'm gonna do with yet. But and then so yeah, and so I'm always writing and stuff. But I'm gonna read 2 poems, and they're short. The first one is like a love poem, and it's untitled. I loved you until you died. Now I write about it. Thank you for leaving behind a poem. Your last kiss a pomegranate. Dropping seeds into my mouth. I will plant them. I dig into a body to make a new body. The soil between my nails. I plant them. Each into their own pot. A piece of you spread throughout the house. And that's that poem. And then, thank you. I'm gonna read a poem from my book. It's titled, I Mowed Your Facial Hair. And also the title goes into the poem. I mowed your facial hair, aligned the edges of your cheekbones. I filled mulch inside your mouth, planted my garden. We lie awake. The stars are blonde eyes watching us, and the first seed buds. And as a family, we memorize its first leaf, its first petal, its first bloom, and we name her Lily. And that's that poem.
Okay, thank you so much, John. Nice to
Thank
see you.
you.
Okay, Mona Zamfirescu in the house. Did I say that right?
You did perfectly, and I just got home. So thank you for being patient with me. I have a poem to share. This is work that I've been doing in my at school, right? Like I'm in my I finished my first year for my MFA program. So these are all poems that I'm sort of writing for work. This poem is called The Proper Names of Things and is still work in progress. The epigraph. For centuries on the hills of Kenya, Turkana shepherds have followed the water. With drought and violence came displacement. Now cows, donkeys, camels, goats, and sheep are gone. Their language has a word for men without animals. Ekebotonit, no sense of purpose, erased. When asked about sadness, time after time they talk of loneliness. Getting a handle of what constitutes loneliness and its flip side, belonging, is not just an academic pursuit. It's a matter of public health, research suggests. Broadening concepts of loneliness can help expand the toolkit of possible interventions. This is a quote from Why Scientists Are Expanding the Definition of Loneliness. And here's my poem. What should I call a life in transit, pursuit, over the ocean to rain-filled potholes today? The engine is stalling and I'm late for work. What should I call the engine is stalling? Naivete. This is what I wanted. I succeeded. I failed. Not enough. Too abstract. I let myself array the fractal edges of the land I no longer know. I no longer know what to call. I ran away. New York, the deluge of chores, talk therapy, never alone, always alone. Are you okay? Tell me the details, the proper names of things. Too little, too much, too soon, too late. Stay. Nowhere to run from the feel of things. Displacement, loneliness, say it. Nowhere to run, the way I brought a child into this world who does not want it. Why should I call? This is not what I wanted. Say, everything aches. The landscape of my adoptive home I no longer understand. Say it. Everything aches. Stay.
Wow. Thank you very much. Okay, Dan Denton, how are you doing over there?
Hey, Belinda, thanks for inviting me again this month. This is like the coolest reading ever for a guy that lives in a camper out in a rural area. I'm Dan Denton. I live in Ohio. I'm a poet from Ohio. I live in a camper. I have my first poetry book ever coming out soon, even though I've been traveling and doing poetry for like 15 years. I guess it's time, like all these people told me, it's time to take poetry seriously. I don't know what that means, but I have a book coming out. It's called Fight Songs for the Underdogs. So look for that soon. And I'm heading next weekend to Gonzo Fest in New Orleans and on tour to Memphis and St. Louis. So if you're in those areas, come see us. And did I say thank you, Belinda, yet?
No, but you just did.
Thank you, Belinda. I got one poem I'll read and then I'll move on. It's called I Am Waiting. I stole that title from Lawrence Ferlinghetti, of course, and his great poem, I Am Waiting for a Rebirth of Wonder, but that's the only thing I stole. Everything else is my original work. I am waiting for the cash register clerk at the local grocery store to put down her frock and walk through the automatic sliding doors and outside to join a revolution not yet started. For the rural postal carrier that drives a gold Oldsmobile to dump mail sacks from his trunk and drive away to find a revolution not yet started. For the local warehouse workers of a large national home improvement chain to get off their forklift trucks and put down their shipping label guns and grab their still full lunch buckets and head out liberated into a revolution not yet started. For the college students to drop their textbooks and defy the authority that they should naturally question and leave their classrooms to join a revolution not yet started. For the men in their cups down at the local tavern to put their bottles down and arise stumbling from their rickety bar stools, lurching into the light of day and into a revolution not yet started. For the construction workers to lay down their tools and remove their orange safety vests. For factory workers to shut down their machines and flood the exit gates like children on the last day of school and yip and yell in jubilee, joining a revolution not yet started. For the miners to come forth from the bowels of the earth and leave their hard hats and picks in piles at the mouths of the rich man's caves, and without washing their faces smile to join a revolution not yet started. For doctors and nurses to remove their stethoscopes and abandon their blood pressure cuffs and throw off their white lab coats and stand up to a healthcare system they know is broken and join a revolution not yet started. I am waiting. I am waiting for line cooks to shut down their grills, for truck drivers to kill their engines, for office workers to unplug their copy machines. I am waiting for the garbage men to leave the garbage to collect itself, for janitors to lay down their brooms and leave their dustpans behind, and for municipal workers to abandon their municipalities and walk away from the bureaucracy to join a revolution not yet started. For clouds to let go their parasails and come crashing down to earth in great kamikaze ponds, and for the trees to shake loose their limbs and roar with the wind, bringing tenor to the song of a revolution not yet started. For mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters to join hands with neighbors near and far, for songwriters to hoist their guitars, for poets to pick up their pens, for painters to lift their brushes, for saxophonists and trumpeters to toot their horns and join a revolution not yet started. I am waiting for one voice to cry into the night, and for one shred of hope, and for the sun to awaken the arsonists to light the fires that lead the anarchists to rally the punks and unite the hippies, to invite the queers to bring their rainbows and march in solidarity as one in a revolution not yet started. I am waiting. Thank you, guys.
Right. Yoo-hoo. All right. Jeff Weddle, how are you doing? Let's see. Let's see if Jeff's still.
I'm great. I'm good. I just had to unmute myself. Hey everybody, glad to be here, and Belinda, thank you for having me. I'm enjoying everybody's work. It rocks. Um, what I'm up to now, the thing I'm most proud of, I've started a poetry group at the local public library. We meet once a week, and some folks are coming in, and we're talking poems and having a great time. And got a couple of books coming out soon. One from Uncollected Press and one from Meat for Tea. That's what's going on with me. And now I've got one poem I'm going to share with you. People are bringing up the Gonzo Fest, so I thought I would haul out my Hunter Thompson poem that I've written that I'm going to read down there. So it's called "You Think You Knew Fear and You Think You Knew Fear and Loathing? You think you knew swine? You left us to the wolves, Hunter, and the wolves are fat and greedy. They aren't even hungry, but they will still eat us if we don't eat them first. You left us to the ticks. You left us to the zombies. For the goddamn price of goddamn eggs, we opened the front door and invited bottom basement Dracula into our homes. Fuck, Hunter. What you could have written. At least Nixon went to China and left office when he was told to. You were right that he was swine, that the people who voted for him were swine. What about now? Who is going to call out the fat bastard who is shitting oily turds right into every American mouth and wiping his ass with the Constitution as half the country begs for more? What the fuck, Hunter? What would you have observed about the suburban sociopaths who voted for the guy just because he hates brown people as much as they do? The smug white women who don't care about other people's daughters bleeding out in parking lots. We live in a country where healthcare is illegal, Hunter. California is burning. The tech bro Nazi who owns the president seek howls on national TV, and most everyone shrugs. Holy shit, man. Where are you when we need you? America has the attention span of a gnat and the soul of Charlie Manson. Your best books never got written, Hunter. You never looked the real beast in the eye. It's a crime against literature that you're gone, man. Fear and loathing, the coming bloodbath, the sons and daughters of swine, far worse than their grandparents. Reagan was worse than Tricky Dick, and W stole the White House, lied us into ruinous war, destroyed our schools, and still made them both look like Jesus Christ giving ice cream to beggar children as he showered them with gold and cured their leprosy. And Jesus Christ, Hunter, the fat bastard we have now makes W look sane and filled with grace. You blew it, Hunter. What books we could have had. Hell, maybe America could have even been saved. We'll never know. But God damn it, we're fucked. You should have stuck around.
Woo. All right. Susanne West.
Wow, I have to collect myself after some of these poems. They're really powerful. Okay, so my name is Susanne West. I live in San Rafael in California, and let's see, the most current thing that I'm going to be doing is offering more and more workshops that give people tools, writing tools and other creative tools for fostering resilience. That's just so important to me right now. My background is in psychology, and the pain and the stress and the anxiety, it's everywhere. It really, really gets to me. So that's what I'm working on right now. And this poem, I'll read one here. This is called We Are Kindreds. I want to look, eyes wide open, into the dark sea of everywhere pain that is now. I soften, open, want to feel the hearts, souls, blood, bones of my kindreds. Everyone, everything is a kindred. We're not separate. We are one. But I forget, of course. At times I succumb to the trance of separateness, individualism, egoism, human exceptionalism. I forget, revert to what I was taught, what conditioned me, what conditioned us. I'm committed now to remembering. I want to see, raw, bare, true, the wounds in our world. Know that the pain is our pain. I want to see the losses, abuses, injustices, feel the fear, despair, rage. See what is here, hear what is here. Say no to it, stand up to it, and I want to see, feel, hear the love at my core, our core, the one core. Breathe life into it, feed it, strengthen and empower it. Say yes to it, stand up for it, stand up for love, support love in ruling the day without knowing how, where, when, or if love will be sovereign on this planet.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. Finn Hall from Scotland.
Yeah, hello. My name's Finn Hall. As I just said, I'm from Scotland, and I've always got something going on, as those that know me know. I've just had a book published by, like a block from the book, which is me as well, which a few people are in, and it's called Orange is Not a Real Color, and it's a bunch of poets from all over the world, including Chris and Benito here. It's an anti-Trump book, actually, from people from all over the world writing about it. And I also have a film that I just put out last Sunday called what's it called? Anyway, it's a film about, give me 2 seconds, I've got it right in front of me here.
Act Your Age.
That's my age. Thank you, Belinda. You've seen it. Yeah, it's a film that's all me about me enjoying life as septuagenarian and just writing about that. And I'll put the link onto that as well. But I'm going to do, first of all, a poem from that film, and then a poem from the book. This poem's called Seventh Thing. Separate beds and dry little kisses mean you're chasing darkness for a living, where every second counts as you're looking for something to bring you back to the nothingness, which at least is something. And vast acres of silence permeates the rebel rants of discontent. And bent blades, lustres lost in the realms of misunderstanding, hang about street corners looking for hope. But that went spiraling down the drain before you even found it. Pleading voices take umbrage at being ignored. Punctuated pauses catch the next flight to the east, where they will be celebrated, being celebrated as they should be. Where you wait in a different east, toasting with an imaginary glass of mezcal, the sour cream of local friendship that ignore the words of others. No respite from the world of left behind, but you don't mind as you step into an area of misbelief, traveling well into the realm of me, really? Of course you really. Why should it not be? You're always open to realization that simplicity is best when slightly complicated. And I'm well past the age for party naps and tactical pukes, and tempting futures is just tomorrow's way of saying the way to outer space is just across the ocean. I stand alone but never lonely. It's not my need to move in the shadows nor wave my midday flag. As roses clash, the night elm is dying, twittering, dishing out serious excuses. Is reason to realize that not all is needed to be. Accepting light is always there. The separation matters. The way to now is here, and here is now, is where I should be. Right, and this one's from Orange is Not a Real Colour. And it's about one of the early, in inverted commas, executive orders that the Arsenal thought up when he decided to ban paper straws and make it illegal to use paper straws. It's called Exploding Paper Straws. There's a gulf of common sense while dense people play golf, and hell is but a short step away. Inadequate fools fool the poor that the rich know and are better and always right in the things they do or say, despite the obvious truth. The fact that they think life is wasted on foreign youth or of any age or colour, female, gender, different gender or none. Separating things in the blender, plucking out the shards of life from between the teeth of human persistence. Riding dreams of existence to satisfy the greed, and they will bleed the very soul of every decent situation. One day the nation will wake up dead. Those that write the headline stories cower behind their column inches as the fifth one marches on. Jackboots disguised as sports shoes, suits as black as the times we live in. Cameras hang on their every words, no matter how absurd the garbled spewing sound. And MAGA hats worship the ground they contaminate, even as their relations get deported, sacked, or otherwise evaporated. The rest remain scared, unsure, rich or poor, with the only conclusion that the world, well, those who care, is that the loose ends need to be tied up and dumped somewhere where they will never be found. How does that sound, you fascist bastards? Thank you.
All righty, thank you. Sandra Feen, how are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. I just feel so humbled being among all of you great poets, and I appreciate meeting new folks, and it's wonderful to be with people I know as well. So thank you for having me. I am a retired English and creative writing teacher, and I've published 4 collections, and just recently this has been published. This is my newest collection. I thought I would read one poem from this collection and then one other poem as well. There's a Rock on Martin Avenue is about, I co-wrote this with a man named Cliff Tryons, and it's about our fathers who dined together with some other characters for decades at a diner. And it deals with aging and just a lot of things that we will all eventually go through. And I accompanied my father his last few years as he combated dementia. Imagine Lincoln owned a whorehouse and Miss Kitty approved. It's Men's Group Wednesday, Dad's breakfast at TJ's. I was baptized into the group as they verbed it long ago. Even Dad approved. Steve, self-professed flirt from Durham, and Lyndon Johnson's doppelganger, always savors a shock, begins today's conversation with a jolt. I'm going to build me a whorehouse. I'll call it Jump on Me. Put that in your book, baby doll. And he tugs on my left sleeve and swiftly as he blows me a kiss. Korean conflict pilot vet Bob is absent from this cruise since duty calls him to work at a pharmacy today. His eyes rolling and groans would have immediately ensued. Lincoln, Dad yells, saluting his middle finger. Lincoln, he repeats. What about Lincoln, Vern? Came the calm but commanding low voice of the World War II vet, almost 6 months to age 100. If everyone's best memory cells were collected in one mason jar with a golden birthday bow for Ray, he'd chuckle, politely decline, not needing it all or wanting any assistance from any of us. As if to fill in Dad's "it should be so damn obvious" blank, he does it himself. Owned a whorehouse. Table silence. Dad slaps a glare at me, says, "You heard me," then returns to the group. Lincoln owned a whorehouse. And I'll tell you something else. He ran it with Miss Kitty on Gunsmoke, and she approved. Miss Kitty from Gunsmoke. Ray made a declarative statement, then almost simultaneously held up his empty coffee mug, virtually mouthing the word waitress. And Dad responded a matter-of-fact yes, as if the 1960s cowboy drama was a place, say, in the neighborhood of Gettysburg. A little nervous giggle splashes among the seats, and Ray's son Cliff dishes out a face of compassion towards me. I so intensely felt that I fumble, drop my napkin. You think I don't know. I know my presidents. I know my American his history. And he nearly growls the word once he is able to hunt it down and kill it. Then, as if an afterthought, a deliciously full sentence. I've always been the resident historian. And that fact is now history. He curves his middle finger, leans in, stretches his arm to table center, as if to hook a synapse of reason in any of us, or even better, our imagination.
Yay. Thank you.
Thanks. There's probably not time for another one, so I'll stop. Thank you.
Alrighty. Benito Vila from Mexico.
Thank you, Belinda, for including me. What am I doing lately? I'm in the wilderness Ron described, and I've had a bunch of poems picked up. Two of them went into Orange is Not a Color, so I'm going to read one of those, and I'm going to read something short. Now I can't see your faces because I'm looking at the poem. This poem is called "The Enemy of the People." This is in Orange is Not a Color. The enemies of the state wrap themselves in hate, selling common sense like it's a flag, condemning liberty to control by their kind and no one else. See how they throw out garbage and say what a mess the place is. The enemies of the state are mad, go to bed mad, wake up mad, and insist on what needs to be done for them to stay mad. Listen how they talk, how they say society needs to be clean, clear, and strong, and then humiliate decency with a dirty, murky weakness for racism, weapons, and the need to punish anyone who's not like them. The enemies of the state thrive in extremes, pushing their propaganda, their dissatisfaction, insisting the world should be one way and pointing out wherever it's not, calling the compassionate parts of society false and traitorous. feel their betrayal, how they promise to protect law, tradition, and democracy and do everything but. The enemies of the state act like a cult, worshiping symbols and leaders who create conflict, who destroy the mutual respect a society needs to flourish. Taste the bitterness they leave behind, how never in history, not once, have the radical reforms of a cult-like movement fostered a single era of social harmony or a lasting economic boom. The enemies of the state insist that they know what is right for the people, offering progress through religion, nostalgia, and isolation. Smell how that rots the connections, the cooperation, the joy needed for the roots of any change, any growth to take hold. The enemies of the state think this poem is about them, hurt they've been denied their moment, their turn for so long without ever wondering why. Their truths, their lies overwhelm the senses. That's how they flip worlds upside down. The enemies of the state are the enemy of the people. We, the people, are the state, and we must speak out every day to protect our liberty. Only by keeping us quiet, cut off, scared, concerned for our safety, can the enemies of the state ever have their way. Again, I can't see, I've got one short one that I wrote this week. It's a little less dense and it's a lot lighter. It's called On the Eighth Day. On the eighth day, stuff started happening. It had to. All the pieces were in place. The word, the darkness, the light, the creatures of the air, the water swarming, the earth yielding according to its kind. And once it got going, whoa, there's been no stopping it. One breath is all it took. Then boom. I feel that too, like I'm some sort of time fool, feeling my way, trying to cut loose a book of rules my ego wrote that other egos wrote, worship, and keep on sale. I'm so glad all sorts of things can happen when I listen like I want my mind to change. One breath is all it takes, then boom. And that's it.
All right, thank you. Hi, Chryssa. Chryssa Velissariou. Did I say that correctly? From Greece.
Yes, don't worry. I lately changed it in Chryssa V because it is difficult to be pronounced. So, hello from Greece, from Athens. I'm not at my house. I'm in Athens because I do a theater project in green parks of Athens with European friends, teachers, about inclusion and empathy. Lately, I was working in nature and I was watching the trees, the little flowers, and I was feeling so humble in front of the beauty in earth and how we disrespected. Here in Europe, we think there is a climate change and destruction. I think your American president don't believe it. Doesn't believe it. And he says there is nothing to be afraid of. Anyway, I'm afraid because I see too many things around me changing, too many beautiful things around me and souls around me dying without reason. Too many people suffer without reason. And perhaps we must worry, all of us. So, what am I to say something, to say anything? My poem is about this, how I feel in this world. Golden hunch and silver dreams. Don't look at me with half a glance. I'm full of flaws, not elegance. A golden hump upon my spine. I miss the obvious every time. I shy from fame, from glory's chase, a wrinkled child who lost the race. My life a tale of mocked mistakes. Their shadows leave the deepest aches. The sky's my pride, I dreamt it near, but never reached its crystal sphere. Say one kind word, and it will start to steer forgotten dreams in heart. Who dares to mimic nightingale that sings where all the colors pale? My voice is rough without finesse, yet still I sing. I must, no less. Great names and faces, bold and grand. Why was I placed upon this land? My works feel small, like whispers lost. Is that a crown I've earned? At what cost? An orchid blooming in the field speaks with more grace than I could yield. A single star could charm you more, or eyes that hold a silent lore. I didn't come to leave a mark. Oblivion is where I'm parked. Yet still I long to touch your soul, to share a tale, to make you whole. A chain we form, both strong and bright, around Earth's waist in dancing light. We sway with waves, we wake the past, old shipwrecks, breathing hope at last. I face the mirror, gaze and rhyme, a habit grown through years and time. I mock my pompous little side. You dream too big, I say with pride. Yet there I stand, a frame petite, with storms and tempest at my feet. I rage, I dream, I twist and spin, a mess of chaos deep within. I fix my hair, take one more view. Now tell me true, just who are you? I muse aloud without regret, still seeking answers, searching yet. That's all.
Alrighty, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty. I believe
Nice to meet you again.
Oh, you too. It's been a while. I think everybody's had a chance for one go, right? Okay, so I'll read one thing. And you know me, I'm Belinda Subraman, and I love to do projects in poetry and painting and music and film. I just love being creative. I can't remember what I came in this room here for. But I remember when cars had ashtrays, no seat belts, sharp metal corners, and no airbags. A wreck was usually a death sentence. I remember when TVs were black and white, only had two channels, and someone had to climb on the roof to adjust the antenna in bad weather. I remember penny candy, 5-cent candy bars and Cokes, 21-cent cigarette packs, and my mom sending me to buy them. I remember when spanking was allowed in schools, when beatings in one's family was nobody's business but one's own. I remember when things were groovy, fab, and cool, and we could dig it. And words like Oriental, Gypsy, and Midget offended no one. I remember the world before Earth Day, when the word environmental was seldom heard, and poisoning our food and earth was unregulated and unsuspected. I remember when cigarettes were good for us, and doctors recommended them, while advertisers told us menthol filters made them healthier, but hid the fact they could kill us. I remember when Russia was bad and Eastern Europe was against us. Fallout shelters were built and filled with rations. In school, we hid under desks and bomb drills. I remember the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, Elvis Presley's comeback in Las Vegas, the assassination of President Kennedy, and the day Marilyn Monroe died. I remember when a brick house with 3 bedrooms, basement, and garage went for $40,000. A semester in college, around $300. A hamburger was 15 cents. I remember when misogyny and chauvinism were expected, and a woman could do little without her husband's approval. Yet we dreamed of getting married, and being divorced branded us as whores. I remember when they measured our hemlines in school, and they couldn't be more than 2 inches above the knees, and when a popular girl got pregnant and killed herself before the invention of the birth control pill. I remember when we walked on the moon and everything seemed possible, yet the KKK was still burning crosses and the country was segregated. History is always rewritten by the ruling class, and white men have always wanted to rule. Books and manners have always been censored. These were not the good old days. They never are. But I remember women's liberation, desegregation, and when immigration was encouraged, when the United States was admired worldwide, and we were proud to say we were from the USA. Okay, are y'all happy with what we've done, or would you like to do one more piece?
One more is good.
Okay, Lily, you're up. The first again.
About to drop off. It's late, but I'm excited to be here. First of all, thank you, Belinda. I'm so honored to be in this feast of very varied voices, varied poetry. And I'm also glad to have seen my friend Chryssa, whom I shared a room with in Connecticut, and also to see Sandra after so long. Sending you both lots of love. And gentlemen and ladies, the rest of you are rock stars. So before I sign off, Belinda, thanking you once again, I'm going to be reciting something called A Note to My Younger Self. You know how we are surrounded by this materialistic world, and I'm right now surrounded by violence and I don't know, senseless stuff happening. So just a little peep, and here it goes. A note to my younger self. I'm certain if I met my younger self, half the age I'm now, I'd plead with that people pleaser of a girl to love herself much more, to rest more often, to cook what she liked to eat herself for at least one day in the week. I would beseech her to stride with a leisurely, leonine gait, literally and metaphorically a regal Gajgamini. Gaj is elephant in the local language. On a perpetual, whooshing skateboard, slithering through life's pathways, saluting, fawning, running to do biddings, changing from aprons to silk saris, keeping the house in gleaming perfection. Instead, I would teach her to say a polite but firm no. Yes, I know. I still can't say it though. I would chide her when she rejoiced at the birth of her son, for who knew he would vanish into nothingness after 23 years? Ephemeral life can punch you hard in your guts. Ephemeral life can punch you hard in your guts. So succor in the scalding summers. Tall tumblers of buttermilk made mock mustaches on upper lips. Our souls seem to be lulled into somnambulant trances with the hot glue, drinking water from clay pots called surahis, perfumed with the earthly smell of mud. I come from women who were Hir, Leila, Saiba, women who had unflinching faith in their God. I come from homes where the lady book of six used to be read with diligent devotion. Melons, watermelons, sweet juice, dripping mangoes provided succor in the summers. I come from those generations. I don't come from haunts of Coot and Hern. I think I would like to admonish my 28-year-old self for not letting her parents know how much she loved them. They would have waited to hear her say it. With failing vision, hearing loss, frail bodies, they looked sad and lonely as the silence throttled them. A word, a gesture, a hug would have worked wonders. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
very much.
much. Thank you for staying up for us.
Lovely, lovely meeting you all. Allow me to just sleep off now. God bless. Thank you.
All righty. Bye-bye. Christine.
Yes. And thank you so much for inviting me to be here for my first ever Zoom reading. So
Oh,
this one's called Famished. I wake up hungry. I go to bed hungry. In between, I pace the floors, famished for something I can't name. I lick the walls, nibble at sofa cushions, but nothing fills the void, satisfies the craving, sates the silent certainty that living should mean something more than eat, shit, sleep, repeat until our jaws are too worn to chew, until we're too feeble to chase the flavor of the things that were never really running in the first place, until we're wasted hamsters in our graves, gone before we realize that the wheel was the fucking illusion the whole goddamn time. Thank you.
wow. Thank you. Okay. Lin Tun.
I did this time I will read a poem. The title is Beauty and Beast. Breeze, smooth, gentle, adorable, cheerful, polite, supple, neither destructive nor expulsive, being adorned with all kinds of beauties, always essential, always longing for. You are a zephyr. Tempest, colors disastrous, bad, ruthless, arrogant, abstinent, whimsical. No one wants you, no one welcomes you. Rival without someone at your own disposal, remedying, raiding, leaving lots of suffering. You are a terrible visitant. You never listen to us. Don't you ever come, saying that untempt time, but you pay no heed. You come here upon your oddity. You are uncivil. You have no decorum. You are a savage. Stop. Enough. Don't you ever display your heartless manners or actions to us. My dear confidant, Zephyr told me, once you tempest have been gentle, considerate, smooth, polite, compliant with social norms. But you have changed, totally changed, bitterly transformed. You become boisterous, clamorous, wider, divide of your civic until global warming casts a spell on you. Yeah, it's about a notice of the global warming. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. John Compton.
Hello. So I'm going to read a really short poem, and it doesn't have a title. The water doesn't let you escape, like the hands of someone's lover, tight, then tighter. It slips up your body, places its hands around your neck. And that's that.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. Mona Zamfirescu.
Thank you. This poem is called Summer, and it's about summer in 1980s in Romania. End of June, Every year our dining table was fragrant, wet on old newspapers, a litter of linden flowers. The tea is soothing to the nerves, we were told, to ward off colds in the winter for us kids. No one read the news those days. Promised for a future time in the kitchen under mountains of sugar, sweet peaches boil the summer away. On counters, rows of empty jars, glistening clean. Winters were barren and harsh those days. My grandfather's tree was laden with red glory, its canopy opened wide over the neighbor's yard. I'd climb and reach over the fence, a scrawny kid along the rough bark. I cherished that harsh embrace. No tomorrow on the heavy branches, just me sharing the boon. My little brother, doubtful, looking up, his smile dripping red cherries. Before the cold set in, we would make the line at the vegetable market. Back then, each kid counted at food lines. Our makeshift cart waiting for us around the corner. Us kids full of questions. Why potatoes? Why now? What will we say? Is it 10 kilos for 20 lei, or is it 20 kilos for 10 lei? Why do we have to whisper? Why do we have to run? Why are they chasing us? Linden trees still line our street. The years gone, the summer, those days promised away.
Wow, thank you very much. Denton.
Okay, thanks again, Belinda. Great hearing everybody read. I love this reading because there's so many diverse voices from around the world. So thank you for doing this, Belinda. I'm going to read one poem. It's called I Took Jackson Pollock to the Psychiatrist. I had a psychiatrist appointment, so I got out of bed early and gathered all the worms I could find. There were none. The birds did not sing. It was February. I wore mittens over my ears. I put a bulletproof vest over my heart, wore my seatbelt, and took a Jackson Pollock biography with me to triage. There was a 15-minute wait, and me and Jackson Pollock sat in the corner getting side-eyed by a fake rainforest plant in a whisper-quiet lobby. When it was my turn to enter the combat zone, I was called by a name that the government gave me, though no one else has ever called me that. My psychiatrist tried to teach me a new way to breathe, but I told him I was having trouble getting air through white-knuckle fist clench. He said that he will teach me to live with my trauma. I said, motherfucker, who do you think lies next to me at night keeping me awake? He said, are you really reading that giant Jackson Pollock book? I said, no, but they won't give me a machine gun, and I want to be an artist too. He said, we need to expose you to the things you're avoiding. I said, I'm avoiding them because they tried to murder me, and my natural instincts are trying to keep me alive. He asked me how I was getting by. I said, I come from nothing. He said, you must have something. I said, I plant flowers on roadsides and we both grow in the dark. He said, Jesus, that's a tough way to get to heaven. And I said that I had hoped he knew an easier route. He said he will teach me to make anxiety my friend. And I laughed and said, I'd rather juggle rattlesnakes in hell than hug a man that has stabbed me in the back every time I turned around. He said, give me time. I can't fix you in one appointment. I said, I didn't expect to be here this long, and tomorrow is a brown banana. He said, have you tried meditating? I said, yes. Every morning I sit like a lobster learning how not to howl in boiling water. He said, don't worry, we can manage this. And I said, that's cool. Then drove away trying to breathe through my eyelids and dodging booby traps most other humans have never had to worry about. Jackson Pollock rode in the 12-gauge shotgun seat, dead as Section 8 daydreams. When I got home, I took a folded piece of paper out of my back pocket. It sighed as I put it on my desk, and it said that another psychiatrist had lied to my face. There was no we. I wouldn't see him for 4 more weeks. It was just me and all this breathing, screaming, and killer clown circus chaos, all living together, self-taught and learning to be an artist. I warmed up a can of soup, opened the Jackson Pollock book, and sat unarmed in another knife fight. Paint dripped in my eyes. It was February. There were no birds. Worms can't sing. Thank you, Belinda.
Well, thank you. Okay, Jeff Weddle.
Okay. I've so enjoyed everybody's readings. And again, Belinda, thank you. This one is called It's True. This world once had snow in it and used car lots, dirty lampshades, and photographs of inspired 1916 Bolsheviks. The world had tigers and punk rock and drugs to make the young girls sling sweat and dance, dance, dance. Classy dames with runs in their stockings, drinking cheap whiskey straight from the bottle. The world had red hair and poets, even Sylvia Plath. Just imagine a world with trees or something beautiful. Almost no one remembers, but that's how it was under these cold and constant stars such a long time ago.
All right, thank you. Susanne West.
All righty, this is pretty short. It's called Portals to Poems. When I remember to open wide to the unseen, consider everything a vast invitation. Cease worshiping ordinary time. Let my lineage of ache teach me. Let my lineage of wisdom teach me. Sink into long, quiet times. Touch hearts with our hurting sisters and brothers, children. Invite them to speak their naked pain. Converse with illness, healing, birth, death, the infinite. When I remember, poems find me.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Finn Hall.
All right. Yeah, something lighter for me for a change. It's a new one. And it's yeah, it's like a science fiction thing. It's called Dreams Need Lockers Too. You keep things close to your chest and never letting them escape. But imagine finding time travel as possible. Like how far ahead would you go? 20, 30 years? It would depend on your age, it seems. And what is the purpose of your dreams? Are they glimpses of other realities? Future you? Well, for me, 10 is safe. 30 might see me appear as a ghost, a spook in the reality of those that see me, hear me, feel me. Should we go halfway? Say 20. A reasonable premise considering the age of deceasement within my family. Let's do it. 20 years it is. So here we are. Boom, fizz, splat, or whatever noises the supposed time machine makes. It's now 2045, or whatever year hence from when you're reading this. I appear, reappear, and secretly see my family. Maybe my great-great-grandkids, sitting by my great-grandkids, talking to my grandkids, them saying, Papa was nice, he was funny, he read Dr. Seuss to us. Then he just disappeared. How long ago, the youngest one asks. Oh, 20 years. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sandra Feen.
This poem is for teachers. For those who remain, it takes a while to get over the trauma, to remember to breathe, to shift into days different from those lessons piled with milk cartons and a heap on the loading dock. You can do something for yourself once you learn the color of simplicity. You can sleep in the warm turquoise of your bed sheets, savor auburn tea and black coffee in the middle of first period, stand only for the purpose of strolling to your bathroom. Yes, bells will no longer direct when you empty your bladder, though they still resound in your head and each gray layer of your psyche. You can sip more than one cup, marvel aesthetics of steam rising, welcome choral reflection, and pray. Oh, you pray for colleagues who still teach in cold, windowless rooms, who wake in a panic like you still do at 3 a.m. But you'll eventually settle your habits, let sun catch you up on your heartbeats, philanthropies. Still, In between what deeper maps teach you, never forget what you recently shed. Lists of computer usernames and passwords longer than the alphabet that change once memorized. Acronyms amplified to adorn initiatives vacant of common sense. Incessant indictments with their sharp arrows. What are you doing in your classroom that is wrong? What didn't you do that you should have? Soft pillows of gratitude never received, a simple nod of recognition, nonverbal warmth from eyes meeting yours to affirm, to connect, in response to your daily bread of emotional and financial charities fed willingly, though hardly ever reimbursed. No recompense of speaking, even a morsel of experiences at a teacher's meeting. No allowance to utter a word during your final meeting before turning in your key. No words ushered to you when you place the key and last end of the year checkout on Superior's glacial desk. This your Arctic fanfare. You will never forget that your colleagues, your lifelong friends while driving to work, pray for their students, always yearning scarlet bricks of a better life for their students. And you share their mantra, their intrepid backbone, so you will honor teachers through divine invocation, effortlessly remembering the creativity, intelligence, humor, and hunter green tenacity it takes to evolve and remain in this gutsy, vulnerable, fragile capacity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Benito.
Bear with me. I had a couple long poems, but I'm going to read something short. It's 3 lines. It's coming out in Voices. It's Dave Bowles' book. It comes out in June. It's called "It's Really That Simple." You're as close to God as I'm ever going to get. It's really that simple. That's it.
Oh, okay. All right. Chryssa, do you have something for us?
I think yes. Something I wrote a few days ago. It is not complete, but the charm of simplicity. Speak. Speak with flowers, with touch, with smiles. You won't be alone. Spring around you beacons. Whoever seeks joy, let them imitate me. Words? What need have I of them when I can listen to a bustling, throbbing, blooming meadow? When I can bow to all that is more, unaware of my contrived harmony. Embrace the charm of simplicity, the dewdrop, the delicate petal, the murmuring brook that flows into your dreams. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I will close out. I did get everyone that wanted to read, right? Now's the time to say if I skipped. Okay. Just a few lines called Young and Autistic. Words clung tightly to my chest. My speech was directed inward. Inflated fear and wonder kept me mute and dreaming, praying for the essence of words to fall onto paper and tell me who I am. Thank you all so much. I enjoyed every one of you, and I feel honored, and it's been a great privilege to be with you. Gas has a reading once a month, and you're all welcome to join. I may send a invitation to you because you were in this one. You're no way obligated. Just say yes if you wanna, and Can't make it if you can't. Okay. All right. Bye-bye, y'all.
Thank you, Belinda.
Thanks, Belinda.
All righty.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.